this should be one of the most important functions you will undertake in the next few weeks. Corruption is eating at the social fabric of our society. It's eating at us in public service, it's eating at us in the civil service, it's eating at us in every sphere of life. Wherever we run to, we are faced with the monster of corruption. We have become almost desensitized to corruption. We talk about it for a little while and then it dissipates. You don't hear about it anymore. If as a people we are not held accountable to the actions or our inactions, then there is no point for us to talk about national development. The NCCE has conducted a research on corruption, public accountability, and environmental governance in Ghana. And this was done with the support of the European Union. They've supported us for this ARAP project, which is accountability, rule of law, and anti-corruption. This research will give us insights on how citizens perceive and experience corruption in the country and will help us shape civic education activities we will undertake under ARAP. We trained over 200 members of staff and then sent them out into every district of the nation to conduct the research.
My first day on the field, I really enjoyed it. You know, having first-hand information, interacting with the people, and they being open to you about the subject and all that is really interesting and it's really fun. And having to pay for services that a person is entitled to. Do you think it's corruption or not?
That's corruption.
Okay. And it makes you realize that people are really bitter about what is happening.
We don't work, everybody is selfish. We think of only ourselves. Everybody is thinking of himself, how to succeed and stuff. So I'm saying that is even one of the roots of the problem.
So we had a phone we were using on the field and it had an app on it purposely for the research activity. Okay, why do you have to pay?
It is affecting every individual in the nation.
So normally it takes between 45 minutes to an hour or more. There was a time we spent almost about 2 hours interviewing a lady. So as we interview her, people come to the store to buy and she had to put a hold on us, the interview, go and attend to her customers, come back. But yes, in the end, it was fruitful.
The Accountability, Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program, ARAP, will run until January 2021. Its aim is to support the current reform processes undertaken by the Government of Ghana, working with a broad range of actors such as the police, the judiciary, the Attorney General, the media, and the civil society. Corruption cannot be eradicated through institutional reform alone. Citizens' actions are critical. Citizens can demand accountability from the authorities and report cases of corruption. But for that, a shift of attitudes and behavior needs to take place. And that is where NCCE and other public education providers come in. They can use this study to identify areas where the gaps in citizens' knowledge are, as well as identify bottlenecks in institutional responses to reports.
First and foremost, I get in touch with the assembly member.
Okay.
Then he also leads me to the chief palace. The chief and elders are the custodians of the land. Then the chief also consents and asks me to go and do my searching for the respondents. The houses are far apart, and sometimes it takes time before you can locate the next house you are entering. Speaking to them, you have to devise a strategy to explain the whole questionnaire using the local language. la kade tumfiha yetin sokla tumfiha la zuo huon yele kama la de la sumfiha ko la da tumfiha. Corruption is difficult to come out with the word directly like this. So at the beginning of the questionnaire, you see that it will be difficult for them. So when you pursue and continue to probe, then they will begin responding. When you finish, you can see that the fellow will be happy that you have come to engage him to such extent, and he expects that the end result should be something to benefit their communities.
At the end of every day's activity, the assistants were expected to submit the data they have collected to the server at the NCCE's head office. I had a team of 8 people working together to analyze the data in a period of 3 weeks. We had 8,672 responding to our questionnaire. They were selected using the simple random approach, which allows for every citizen to be given an equal chance to be selected.
So today I was at Tobacco, one of the communities in Domia Belboom, and I started from the roundabout. That was a landmark. So I did the interview in the house that landed as my day school, and luckily for me, I had a good reception. That's how it was. People though, who don't really don't have much education, they don't know how things really work at the assemblies and many institutions, but they believe that there's an element of corruption there. They have the perception that anything that you want to do, if you don't add money to it, you won't get it. We must be frank with ourselves in this country. You will change the system, the human beings will be there, they will make the thing happen. So if we can be truthful to ourselves as Ghanaians or people of this country and want a real change, we must change our mindset.
Before finalizing the report, we undertook validation workshops in 3 centers across the country. The exercise was undertaken to ensure that the report actually reflects the views of citizens as we have from the data collection exercise. We had more than half of our respondents having witnessed one form of corruption or the other. Even though they perceive corruption as more of embezzlement, the ones that they had witnessed was that of bribery. Our results indicate that indeed Ghanaians are aware of corruption. What is missing is the fact that they have very limited knowledge on the different forms of corruption. On accountability, the mechanisms and structures that have to be put in place to ensure that there's accountability, people have limited knowledge on. After the results were presented, we had our stakeholders in 3 groups to discuss the findings of the study.
But now what we are seeing is you have to pay, and if you don't have...
Well, I think it's a good report. It's a very good effort, because if we don't create the awareness, we may not even know what is hurting us as a nation.
Stakeholders at the validation meeting were people from different organizations and backgrounds, and because of this, they brought on board their expertise to help us shape the report better.
So the report is out now, and we're quite happy and excited about it. It gives us an insight as to what we can do about corruption and how we will go about it. NCCE will use this report to create civic education activities to raise awareness about corruption and how to report it.
It's going to help us provide a basis for measuring progress of the program.
It's important to recognize and make good use of the citizens' will to fight corruption and to contribute to a Ghana free from corruption. A Ghana where voices of the citizens are heard, understood, and most importantly, used to drive institutional reforms.
I believe strongly that we can win the fight against corruption. It takes both the public and the private sector for us to win this fight. And more importantly, it takes each and every Ghanaian.
I want to help with the problem of corruption.
It will bring development to the nation, yes, and the poor will benefit a lot.
Oh, obi ayon so benya ne nsa no adwuma.